Welcome back to the episode of Music Banter. I'm your host, Ben Holkman. Today we're going to be talking about some hot takes. Now, on my Instagram, on my personal Instagram, just because I didn't want to put it out on Twitter for no one to respond. On my personal Instagram, I asked y'all for your hot takes, your unpopular opinions about music. Am I ripping this off of Fantano? Yes. However, I will be throwing in my own hot takes because I feel like that's probably going to spice a lot of things up. Yeah, this is gonna be more of a lighthearted video, hopefully. But let's get into it. The first one that I see is, please God, stop the hyperpop hate. It's rad, and people have sticks up their butts. um, I didn't know what hyperpop was. I wasn't well acclimated to what hyperpop was. Then I listened to hyperpop, and all I will say is, no, the people who are saying that it's bad are correct. I'm sorry. I know that a lot of people probably like this, I guess. It sounds exactly what a migraine sounds like, and I thought I was getting one when I first started listening to it. I listened to about a good 30 minutes worth of hyperpop. Don't understand it, will never understand it, probably can't understand it, and will leave this subgenre of music behind. Realistically, I don't mean to be mean, I don't mean to be rude, but I just don't see the thing. I mean, I guess if you like it, you like it. I shouldn't blame people for liking different stuff. I mean, I like some songs that people would probably think are terrible, and vice versa. But yeah, I don't understand the hyperpop. I don't understand the hyperpop hype, or the train, I should say. Yeah, so the next one is not really a hot take. It's more of a song request. Called The song is called "Your Teeth in My Neck" by Kelly Uchis. That's definitely not pronounced right. I'll be 100% honest. Now, I thought I would have to message this person privately and ask if they're okay, what their intentions were with sending this, and because I didn't know this was a song, I genuinely did not know. But after listening to it, yeah, it's a good song. It's a good song for a more sensual title. I didn't expect it to be as upbeat as it was, and not as fast. It wasn't really fast paced, but it was definitely a very nice listen, and I was very surprised. I would say, to say the least, that I would actually enjoy it. So yeah, thank you for that. um, yeah, I'm still kind of in shock that I actually like the song. The next one comes from a friend of the show in Simon Brady, who says Drake is overrated as hell, and nothing was the same as Better Than Take Care. Now let's break this down. I'll do Drake is overrated as hell. Now, if you've watched the last video that I put out, which was the Drake prom, I don't know if anyone did. That's fine. It's a good video. Y'all should go check that one out. I'm very proud of the thumbnail, but very proud of the video too. But if you watched it, I kind of already said this. I did say that Drake was overrated, and I do believe, and I will steadfast hold it, because a lot of people put him in the GOAT conversation, where I don't think he really deserves it. Yes, he is a hit maker, but so what? Justin Bieber's a hit maker. Do you put him in the greatest artist of all time? No, you don't. Is his pen game pretty good? Sure, I would say that, but there are also more than a handful of terrible lines from Drake. I think people overrate his ability to effectively diss someone, because what, he got into two, the one against Meek Mill because he went back to back and everyone hyped it up. Yes, back to back was a good diss, sure, but then Meek Mill responded with War Paint, and then immediately wanted to patch things up with Drake because he knew that Meek Mill could never go toe to toe with Drake in that way, in my opinion. And then he did one with Pusha T where he got absolutely obliterated, and still people to this day think that the price is right. The price is right. Why would the price is right come up in this conversation? The story of Adidon is a top five diss of all time, and I will make a video explaining why I think it's the second greatest diss of all time, and might be the best diss of all time if it wasn't for the legacy of Hit 'Em Up. But I'm rambling. When it comes to Drake, I feel like everyone looks at him as, oh, he makes all these hits and he makes all these things, but no one looks at the controversy around him. And good for him, because he's done that on a reason. He's done that for a reason. He's done that on purpose. If you look at the fact of He has gone on every single hype train to keep himself relevant. He is a clout chaser. Like he is like genuinely an unabashed clout chaser. There's no reason why he's playing Fortnite with Juju Smith-Schuster, Travis Scott, and Ninja in the middle of the hype of Fortnite after he did not even say anything about it. Now, do I like Fortnite? No, I think it's a stupid game, and I think it's very dumb. I've played it before, not competitively. I played it like once. Like this isn't even me being like, oh, I've never played it before. No, I've played it once. I downloaded it. I played it once. Didn't understand the hype around it. I mean, then again, I play FIFA and Madden, so that might be on me. But genuinely, I don't. That just goes back to with Drake. There's so many complaints that I've lodged against him before, and I've lodged against him against. And this isn't me being a Drake hater. Like, let me be 100% honest. This isn't me saying I don't like any of his songs. I don't like any of his albums because we'll get to the album comparison next time. I don't like any of his music. I don't like any of that. That's BS. I grew up when Drake was starting to pop off. I remember listening to Forever. I remember being like so excited for the hype around his music. I remember it. I do. But then I kind of matured, and I matured as a person. I realized this isn't something I like to listen to. And going back to some albums, yes, look, was Nothing Was the Same pretty good? Yes. Is Take Care pretty good? Yes. But I don't think he's dropped a classic. In my opinion, I don't think he's dropped an album where everyone says, yep, that's it. If you're reading This Is Too Late, it's great. I like it. It's full of bangers. I mean, Six God. I could go through the entire thing. Let's be honest. We can go through the entire album. I think it was a mixtape, actually. We can go through the entire mixtape and argue those songs. But I don't think he's put out a classic album the same way you could argue a J. Cole album. You could argue a Kendrick Lamar album. You could argue. I mean, you can argue a Nas. No. You can argue a Pusha T. You can argue. I mean, Nas was after Illmatic. Illmatic is one of the greatest albums of all time. Nas after Illmatic, you could argue. I wouldn't argue it though. You could argue a Jay-Z besides Reasonable Doubt and Blueprint 444. You could argue a Kanye West after My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and Kitsy Ghosts and The Life of Pablo, just because of how like the legacy of The Life of Pablo and how great it was. You could argue so many other people, probably Travis Scott because of the hype around Astro World. I can keep going on and on and on, and we'll get nowhere. In my opinion, you can argue that those artists have put out classic albums while Drake hasn't, and I feel like everyone puts Drake in that region of, oh, he's the greatest, he's one of the greatest rappers of all time. No, he's a great artist. He's great at managing and marketing himself. He's unbelievably great. And because let's be honest, if he did have a second diss track towards Pusha T, and I'm getting a little bit off track, he didn't just drop it because he didn't like what he was saying. No, he didn't drop it because people would look at him differently. Besides already how people looked at him in that way. People like the mainstream media would look at him differently if he was just saying stuff like wild allegations and grasping at straws and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I do agree. Drake is overrated as hell. Like he is. He's a good artist. He's a good artist. He's a pretty decent rapper. He has some good albums, but there is no way that he should be put in the GOAT conversation. Now with the next part of the question, Nothing Was the Same is better than Take Care. I can understand that, but have you ever been depressed? Because I have. And have you ever listened to Marvin's Room while sitting 1 a.m. thinking, damn, I will never be with anyone? Yeah, I have. I make it sound like I'm depressed and terrible. No, I'm good. I'm fine. But like, I think it's the emotional connection I have with some of that album. Like the Rihanna track on that album. I mean, I don't know that I don't know I've listened to those albums a long time ago, so I don't really remember all the tracks of both of those albums. Nothing Was the Same, I think, is underrated in his discog because people look at the Take Care and If You're Reading This Too Late, and people put Views up there, which I don't agree with. I don't think Views is all that great. But hold on 1 second, I'll be right back. Yeah, sorry, I was confused with Thank Me Later and Nothing Was the Same because they just kind of have that same, not vibe, but those like titles kind of confuse me. But yeah, in my opinion, I do think Take Care is better than Nothing Was the Same. I think a lot of people put Take Care over Nothing Was the Same because of like Anthony Fantano, but because of the emotional connection they have, and I think that's probably the same thing for me. But yeah, Nothing Was the Same is a good album. Nothing Was the Same, and If Reading This Is Too Late and Take Care, all great projects. So I wouldn't totally disagree with you, and I can totally understand what you're saying when you say Nothing Was the Same is better than Take Care. Now, here's one that I wanted to kind of center this piece around, or this video, I should say, around, which would be 90s rap is better than today's rap. I've thought of this for a while because I've had these for about a week. Shout out to Bobby Shmurda. I got these about a week ago. So yeah, I make myself laugh. I know I'm not making anyone else laugh. I think I made a lot of people cringe there, and I apologize. But 90s rap is better than today. What I will say is I don't think we've seen the potential of today's. I well and truly don't, because I feel like, number one, it comes down to what you think and what you like. Like, for example, I have my list of top 10, and it's changed, by the way. My top 10 greatest rappers of all time. It's changed, by the way, and they're not all in the same. They're not in any order. When I was writing this, I put Q-Tip, Rakim, Kendrick Lamar, MF Doom, Black Thought, Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. And number one is Andre 3000, which will be a separate video in itself, explaining why I think Andre 3000 is the greatest rapper of all time. But yeah, in my top 10, a lot of those guys have started off in the 90s. Actually, I think most of them did. Q-Tip, Rakim. Rakim, I think, started off in the 80s. But I'm just like in the 80s or 90s. Q-Tip, Rakim, MF Doom, Black Thought, Tupac, Biggie, Nas, and Jay-Z, and Andre 3000. So the only one that really started in the 2000s and 2010s was Kendrick Lamar, who I do believe should be in probably almost everyone's top 10, if not top 5. Maybe that's just me. That may be a hot take. I don't know. But yeah, look, I can understand that, and it comes down to what you like from an artist, and what you like out of your music. I like 90s rap. Yes, I do. I don't think we've seen a lot of these different talents come to fruition, and also we haven't championed a lot of guys that come from this generation as legends yet. And I feel like a lot of people are way too quick to say, oh, this is a classic, oh, this is a classic, oh, this is a classic, oh, this guy's a legend, oh, this guy's amazing, oh, this guy's this, oh, this guy's that, oh, this person's this, oh, this person's that. Because remember, Puff was already marketing Biggie as one of the greatest rappers of all time after his second album, and he didn't have a long career. Rest in peace, may he rest in peace. But I feel like, to me, we haven't seen this. We haven't seen this kind of wave of talent in the new generation yet that we have in the 90s. Because remember, if you look at it, we've been always marketed Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, Tupac. Those have to be in your top 4, and if they're not in your top 4, that makes no sense. You know what I mean? They always they have to be in your top 4. You can't change them out. And if we're talking about rappers, I think, and this is maybe a hot take, I think Kanye has to be in a top 30, in my opinion, because you just don't have those many great albums without being a great rapper. You just don't. But I can understand why people say that. I really truly do. I understand why people say, "Oh, 90s rap is better," and today's rap is all about nothing. Or if you look at even Future, who, to me, at the beginning when I was starting to listen to Future, it was always like, oh, this is just club, this is not much. If you listen to Monster and stuff, he does go deep, and he does talk about a lot of different grievances. Whether you like his rapping or not, he does talk about a lot of stuff that does plague him. And where do you cross the line between an artist and a rapper? Because I think that's where you cross. I think that's another problem. When you look at a guy like Amine, or you look at a guy like Mac Miller, or you look at a guy like Kanye West or Drake, do you cross the line as just his lyrical ability? Do you cross the line as the beats that he's rapping, that these guys are rapping over? Do you cross the excuse me? Do you cross the line at the do you cross the line at the albums? Where do you put it? Because when you start saying, oh, I just think his lyrical ability is all it, then you can cross out some other guys on that list. Then you can cross out some guys that, then you not only can cross out some guys, you can also cross out a lot of 2010s and a lot of 2000s guys, because lyrical ability doesn't have to be top priority in a lot of people's minds. And again, look at Kanye, and this is someone who I will argue and I'll go to bat for, because I think, in musically, I should say, I'm not going to go to bat for in any way any other way possible. Oh God, no, that's not what I meant. With Kanye musically, I feel like his sort of style and his ability to create albums that, besides Jesus is King, which I go back and forth on, I don't think he's put out a bad album. I don't think Ye is bad. I think I really genuinely truly enjoy Ye. Kitsy Ghost is one of my favorite albums ever. Life of Pablo is great. Yeezus is like it's good, but it's like good because of the like 5 great songs on the album. In my opinion, I might do a re-review because we're gonna be starting a new thing called Random Album Reviews. The first one will be Dua Lipa's Future Nostalgia, an album which I actually genuinely enjoyed. That'll be coming out this week, hopefully. I have to get to recording it. I actually recorded a version of it, but it was just being like, yeah, this song is great, this song is great, this song is great, this song is great. So I couldn't really get to that. But yeah, but besides that, I like you can go through everyone's discography and you have to kind of cross the line. Because with 90s rap, I think everyone justifies, oh, they were a great lyricist. They were able to kind of get a beat and just ride with it. And when you look at 2010, you have to like justify, okay, might not be the greatest lyricists, but the beats that they make, but the album, the production, everything that goes into it, I think it encapsulates what the 2010s are, rather than just lyrical ability and the beats that they pick and the album itself. Because realistically, we want to talk about albums. Busta Rhymes does not have the greatest discography, but is in a lot of people's like top 25, and rightfully so. His ability is amazing, but that's again where you draw the line. I put Q-Tip in there. I don't know if I agree with that list now, but I put Q-Tip in there because of his ability, because of his production ability, not only because of his rapping, but because of his production ability. So to answer your question, or to answer your hot take, it's just your preference, and I can't really answer it because I don't know. I find myself liking everything that I listen to, so I find myself liking a lot of stuff. But now I'm gonna go on to one of my hot takes, one of my own personal. Please don't go too hard on me. I genuinely actually believe this. Kendrick Lamar does not need to drop to be considered one of the greatest, but if he drops another classic, there's no argument, in my opinion. What I mean by he doesn't need to drop, he could quit right now. I don't think he will. I genuinely do think he's going to drop this year, and I'm very excited. Kendrick could quit rapping right now, and he still will be one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion. And you could argue that he's one of the greatest of all time. However, if he drops another classic this year, if he drops another classic ever, and if he keeps that same kind of quality up, in my opinion, there's no debate now. Because remember what I just said about the 1990s versus 2000s. Doesn't end with lyrical ability, doesn't end with technical ability, doesn't end with this. To me, Kendrick has all of that. I think the one knock on him is that, he doesn't do well with other guest performances. I don't know if I fully agree with it. I kind of agree with it. I mean, you could say like Goosebumps could have been better, but then again, with Goosebumps, you have Effing Problems, which Effing Problems, he knocks that verse out of the park, in my opinion. He already has 4, besides the Black Panther. I believe he only has 4 projects. All of them are high quality. 3 of them are, 2 of them have to be considered classics, and 1 of them can be considered classics in Damn. Which Damn, I'm growing to more. I at first listen, I was like, oh, this is a very good album. I wouldn't put it up there with To Pimp a Butterfly or Good Kid, Mad City. But I feel like it does get a lot of hate because it isn't as great as Good Kid, Mad City or To Pimp a Butterfly, but it still is very good. Like, people are like, oh, I hate it. Can you play DNA or Element for me, please? I feel like a lot of people do that with Kendrick Lamar's Damn, which, remember, won a Pulitzer Prize. Like, Kung Fu Kenny came to play with that album. And whilst it was not his best effort, almost nothing can top To Pimp a Butterfly, in my opinion. Nothing musically can top To Pimp a Butterfly, in my opinion. So with that being said, if whatever his new album drops, if it's Nation, if it's whatever it's called, if it's a classic or if it's close, or if he drops like two damn kind of things, I don't think there's a debate, in my opinion. I think objectively there is no debate. Lyrical ability, he's amazing. Technical ability, amazing. He's already got top nods from like Eminem, Snoop. He's literally got the seal of approval from all the West Coast legends that are alive right now. So let's calm down for a second. He inducted NWA to the to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which makes sense because again, almost everyone in NWA says yes, he is like the prodigal son of Compton and all that kind of stuff. What else? His production quality is amazing. I mean, it just doesn't sound like he goes from trendier sounds on Good Kid, Mad City to jazz infusion on To Pimp a Butterfly and spoken word and R&B, and it's amazing. And then he goes back to like the more trendier beats, but with some like experimental stuff that he's doing, like Triple X or XXX, if you want to, with U2. He puts U2 on his album, and it's amazing. Like it goes off. It goes so hard. Like it is. It doesn't like go hard in like a club sense, but it like the U2 song. But it's so great. And then he got like a banger and like Loyalty. And then you got Element, which is a deep cut. If I like, it's a cut off the album. It's not even a single, and it's one of the best songs in his discog. And then you have like Pride, which made me cry the first time I listened to it. I mean, like, okay, maybe my take should boil down to DNA is overhated, which is not that hot of a take. I think it is, but damn, like, yeah, this I genuinely do truly think that if Kendrick's next album is a classic, or if he consistently drops like damn quality albums, which again, Damn's not bad. I think it's his third best album, and that's saying something when the two above you are classics. Like literally out of the gate, everyone said, "Yeah, it's a classic," and no one was like, "No, it can't be a classic." What do you mean? No, Good Kid, Mad City, and To Pimp a Butterfly are classics. Everyone agrees. I think the majority, like the majority of people agree with that. With that being said, I think that's going to be all for me. The other hot takes I have are going to be videos that I want to post, and not just like off the top of the head hot takes that I made up. But if you enjoy this style of video, this kind of more free, flowing, free video, let me know in the comments down below. If you have any other hot takes, let me know in the comments down below. I would definitely love to do another part to this. Hopefully we'll do a part 2, but it might just be a little while before we do that, just because I want to like not ask every week so that someone like I get like one response, you know. So yeah, thank you all for watching. This has been Music Banter. I am your host, Ben Holkman. I hope you have a great day. I hope Kendrick drops. I mean, I don't know if you saw my enthusiasm, but I hope Kendrick drops. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.